They'll just make everyone else want to hate me. Yeah, I think we have to go for... I think we're going to go there, aren't we? Hierarchy. Elliot and Roland. Elliot, courtesan known in every nook of Paris that's worth mentioning, a lady of leisure born in Scotland and living in Paris, an alleged spy for the English. British. Come now. In order to survive, she's been forced to master diplomacy like one of the deputies of the National Convention. There is no doubt that her profession has helped her establish relationships. It is unofficially said that if an aristocrat wants to escape from Paris, Grace Elliot is the one to speak to. The Minister of Internal Affairs, thanks to his resourceful wife, who controls his career from the shadows, he's gained a position in the government and become a prominent member of the Jardin. He does not hide his support of the monarchy, maintaining that it will create balance between a bloody revolution and the tradition that unites all French generations. At least he's got a thing there. In the dock sits Mathieu Borel, the former Commander-in-Chief of the National Guard. The defendant stands accused of causing the death of 34 people, which is almost 6 times as many as the Boston Massacre, who took part in a demonstration against monarchic authority. Around 3 p.m., 2 spontaneous groups of protesters stumbled upon each other in one of the streets leading to the Place Vendôme. A quarrel broke out between the supporters and opponents of Citizen Capet. With both sides engaged in a heated argument, none of the involved parties managed to gain the upper hand, and they quickly resorted to name-calling and public threats. Soon after, a National Guard detachment led by the defendant arrived on the scene. According to the eyewitness testimony of Blaise Fossé, Commander-in-Chief Mathieu Borel stood himself between the two groups, alone, and attempted to talk sense to them. He was quickly shouted down by the protesters. A few of them vocally accused the Commander-in-Chief of violating their freedom of speech. A rock flew over Borel's head. He then walked up to the regiment that until this point had stood away from the crowds. The Commander-in-Chief ordered them to load their muskets and aim at the protesters. That is a bad move, you idiot. He shouted to the mob that they should leave, which the people of France, of course, ignored. Then, as Fossé testified, another rock barely missed his head. This time it managed to hit one of the soldiers, leaving him breathless for a moment. Borel ordered the troops to fire. Bullets reached 34 people in total on both sides of the protest. During his arrest, Borel tried to explain that he had the tribunal's opinion, which stated he could use force if needed. He tried, if needed, mate. Tried to explain that he had the tribunal's opinion, which stated he could use force if needed. He tried to defend himself with similar opinions from the convention. Prosecutor Tinville did not care for such explanations, and his fiery speech convinced the deputies to dismiss him. Now he's trying to convince the judge to impose an additional punishment. Accusation. The defense would be... Oh, I don't know. Oh, there's a trap. I hate this. Tribunal's opinions of the defense. Course of events, the order to load muskets. Reckless personality. Dismissal is in events. Maybe that's in defense? No. No. Extenuating circumstances. Oh, that's not any... Oh, caught in trap. I don't even know. That's the thing, is there's no way... Like, I know that there's 3 options, but I'm looking at it, it's like... The protesters aren't a defense, and they're not an accusation. That's why I picked extenuating circumstances. That's just ridiculous how stupid that is. Because... Oh, maybe there's a... I don't know what that is. Protesters, it can't be a defense for him that there were protesters. It can't be an accusation. Extenuating circumstances. Freedom of speech is apparently an accusation. Oh, what? That's not an accusation. That's a phrase. Oh. And that's another accusation. There we go. We got almost everything. Hopefully that was only a positive one for him. So we can boost we can... Defendant may introduce himself. We all know who this villain is. Mathieu Borel, Commander-in-Chief of the National Guard, and... Shut up already! Let us proceed directly to the testimony. Location. Leading to Place Vendôme. Is he a monarchist? I think he is. He's condemned aware of the severity of the charges. You understand that 34 citizens were killed. Those that killed were aggressors who had dared to attack a soldier. All 34 of them? No, we sit by a rock thrown by one person. But before that, another rock flew over my head. So 2 people. I had reason to believe that the mob would become violent. That's exactly why you were sent there, to prevent violence. And I did. Several people died because I violently attacked them, but, you know, we stopped violence. Rest of the citizens at date. The Commander-in-Chief is a real piece of work. He's not Chief Commander-in-Chief anymore. Witness. Please introduce yourself. Blaise Fossé, Monsieur le Juge. I'm a simple blacksmith. Citizen, do you confirm being a witness of Juge? I don't know. That are cause of our gathering events. I was a witness, I mean, I was there. I saw everything and I want to talk about it. I really do. Can you please tell us if you saw exactly how the accused acted during these events? Of course, that's why I'm here. I saw the captain. He's a captain, right? Go on. He stood between the people, started yelling. If someone came to him, he pushed them away and made threats, shaking his fist, but I think he meant well. Why do you think that? I don't know, just a feeling I had. Who attacked first? I'd say the crowd. They threw something at that poor soldier. And after that, well, they started shooting. There was no order. I didn't hear any orders. It was loud and it all happened so fast. He's not particularly popular, is he? Were you given a reason for your dismissal? Multiple reasons. I'll not address all of them, but the one that wounded me the most was my supposed incompetence. You caused the death of many people have died during the revolution, yet the murderers are members of the convention, or judges of the tribunals. The accused should choose his words more carefully. This is slander, a tool of the monarchist machine. Spare me your speech. If you had any decency left, you would remain silent. If we let you go, would you go back to your duty? No, now I can see that being a scapegoat is best I could hope for. A deputy or a judge makes a mistake, so they convict a soldier. That's how it's always been, how it will always be. Spared a politician. Why do you stand between the fighting groups? I knew for certain that you can decrease tension with reason and mediation of a third party. I was not involved with either of the groups. Do you mean to say you're not a supporter of the revolution? During these events, I was a soldier and an officer first and foremost. I could not allow myself the comfort of having political views. Why? Security of the people was the most important thing. Citizens from surrounding houses first, protesters second. Since we are far beyond those events, I take this lack of a clearance as evidence of support for the monarchy. I always remain loyal to France and her people. Okay, so he doesn't answer that one. Counter-revolutionary in nature. I don't think so. I'm going to say no to that. Because, yes. You said official documents. Monsieur le Juge, may I interrupt? That line of this is pure nonsense. Why is it? I brought the document myself to be signed by this judge. He signed it. He gave me the right to use force in the case of immediate danger from the traitors. You killed 34 people. Would you rather there were hundreds of dead soldiers and protesters with the rest of them still fighting each other? I had good reason to use force, and the fact that I am standing here accused only confirms the judge present here, deputy of the convention, are merely looking for a scapegoat. Nonsense. The convention would never. Here is the document signed by Judge Alexis Fidel and the head of the tribunal, Raymond Devoyer. The 2 judges confirmed my right to use weapons. It was a recommendation for the convention so they could write up such law. And I recommend that you release me and sentence these judges to death instead. He's right, you know. I was umming and ahhing about signing that, but it was, I think this case is, load the muskets, not so much, yeah, how was one of your soldiers injured? I'm not sure I like having this information. I know, like, the severity of these things, right? So the severity of this is, where is it? There's a thing where it's like, you can die. No. There's a certain, like, thing you can, where it shows it and it's like, oh yeah, you can die. I've got 3 influence points. Why do I have 3 influence points? Oh, here it is. Risk of death. So, wow. That's a very severe swing. The death penalty. But that's what the jury wants. But I can't afford it. I'm in a position where I'm not doing... Here's, I think, my problem with some of these... with having the statistics show up like this. I'll keep playing because part of me is enjoying this a lot. But it bugs me that... like, the jury is irrelevant if you agree with them. But you need, in a way, to balance these out. Like, I need to boost my family up again, because some of them have gone really low. I need to boost myself up with the common folk. I have to pick the death penalty for the sake of the game. I'm not sure I like that. And I think I have to go for it, I think. I'm just going to sign it while the jury agrees with me. But again, I'd like the jury to have a bit of a mark, a positive mark for it, for agreeing with the jury. I hereby sentence Mathieu Borel to death by guillotine. Souls of the victims may now rest in peace. Let him share the fate of those he shot. Oh, I did get all those right. Bonus to reputation, bonus to influence. Influence of the jury. It doesn't say anything. Yeah, 3 out of 3. Common folk plus 8. Revolutionaries minus 8. Okay. Is that permanent influence bonus or just no? Ah, oh, look, I've got little flowers around me. Because I'm playing this as a game with stats rather than... Maybe I could win the heart of the crowd. Earn the favour of the crowd by delivering a speech or proceed directly to the execution. Remember, once you start your speech, there's no going back. An awkward or clumsy speech will earn you nothing but ridicule from the audience. Depending on your reputation, the crowd will be more or less aggressive. Let's speak. For a technical conversation, you may explore different approaches to all the topics of the conversation. After employing every kind of emotion, you will receive an evaluation of your choices. Each attitude comes with a set of emotions that can have a positive and negative impact. Learn their effects to manipulate the people of Paris in any way you please. The higher your reputation, the more you know about the other speaker's attitudes. You can also obtain this information by spending influence points. Okay, withdrawn. Carefree. I'm really confused. What does that mean? Attached. Like, am I meant to try and match them? Like, I assume carefree. So how do I think maybe manipulation with the withdrawn. Attached, humility, and then carelessness for the carefree. Oh, is that wrong? Ah, so that's perfect. That was weak. Okay, so I got that one wrong. And I got that one wrong as well. But that one was good. Wait, what am I doing? The convict was curious about the taste of crime. Now we shall give him his dessert. Do I want to just keep using that one? Teddy, we have a convict who, as they all say, is innocent. For future generations, remember that we're not cowards. It needs to be done. Crowd intrigued. Bonus reputation. Still don't understand that. Your scapegoat will die so that you can walk free. And if your conscience will let you sleep tonight. The scapegoat didn't die. The scapegoat was thrown out of the tents. That's what happened. The other goat was the one that died. For the revolution! Off with his head! Off with his head! That was in the 1860s, I think. Pull the rope! Ew. I agree with her. Quite horrifying. Easars! There can be no more demeaning experience for revolutionary Paris than the escape of Citizen Capet. He escaped, slipped right from their hands, and the revolution now seems feeble and weak. The people resemble a child that could easily be duped by anyone. However, the Republic quickly composed itself thanks to a postmaster and his people, who were able to catch the fugitives escaping to Montmedy. Ordinary citizens led to the fall of a monarch. You will have a chance to serve the Republic as well, for Citizen Capet will face the tribunal tomorrow. You will choose how he will be remembered, as a traitor and a coward, or as an unlucky statesman. If it were for the prison guards to decide, there would be only one outcome. No, leave him alone. Leave him alone until the trial. It must be done properly. Bonus. Bonus. I was hoping for more of a bonus. Bonus. Paragraphs and codes, which you like, but you don't. But Bernard's musical instruments notwithstanding, he needs to learn some more perspective skills, and law can be an art in its own right. Everyone doesn't. No one likes that. Reading together, you don't like it, but everyone else does. I need to keep you up, so I don't want to. You should spend some time with your father every now and then, show him your world. Perhaps you'll get a taste for it. No, because I want both of you to reading together, which I know irritates Bernard, but I need to boost everyone. I need to boost these two up. Really? I don't understand why some of the positives are so bad and some of the negatives. Or why there's such a big swing. Day 6. People are calm. This is going to go badly. Well, I think the game has saved. I think that's a good place to put it. Ooh, something happened over here. Oh, he's dead. I thought he might have been replaced. Or maybe we would have been put up. Yes, they want executed. My family want him in prison. I think we're probably going to go down the execution route. But I think that is a good place to put a curtain. We've got to a new day, a new trial. And, quiet you. And, I think we'll put the curtain there. So next time, we will put Louis Capet on trial and see what happens. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching.